Goodbye, sun. At least for now. I don't know if you heard that story today about how the sun set in Barrow for the very last time. And actually, literally, for the very last time, because the city of Barrow is renaming itself. It's actually going back to an old name that it had, I don't know, eons ago, Utkatvik. And I don't know if I said that correctly. I probably didn't. There's that whole KG consonant cluster that's hard for the American tongue to wrap around. But that old name, Utkatvik, it has to do with roots. It has to do with what people did there before, the harvesting of roots. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot, the power of a name. If you can name something, you can have control over it. You can have a certain power over it. There's power in a name. And there are a lot of different issues that come from that, whether it is the name of a place, like here in Fairbanks. Why do we call it Fairbanks? Well, because the founder, E.T. Barnett, who, incidentally, we'll talk about him sometime, a convicted felon who stole hand over fist right out of the city treasury, and everybody knew about it, and nobody did anything about it. And he eventually left town with all of the city money. E.T. Barnett, not a good guy. We have streets named after him in this town. Go figure. Anyway, he's the one who came up with the name Fairbanks because there was a senator, I think Charles Fairbanks. This is the same time period, the turn of the last century, 1903, in which President McKinley, of course, was honored with Mount McKinley, totally overlooking the old native name of Denali, the mountain, the great one. And now we have renamed Denali, which, of course, threw all the McDonald's menus into overdrive, because here in Alaska you've got the McKinley Mac. This is basically a Big Mac made with quarter-pounder size, big giant, and of course the giantness of Mount McKinley. Well, now it's Mount Denali, so they had to change all the menus and all the advertising. Now it's the Denali Mac. Not important. The important part is the power of a name. Is there something bothering you, something in the back of your mind that you just don't know what it is? Name it. This is kind of what I'm wrestling with right now in my own life, trying to take control of the things that are bothering me in the background. And there's all kinds of issues today between the politics and the money and the international intrigue and the threat of nuclear catastrophe and, oh my goodness, what if we have a major earthquake? Lots of things that you can worry about that you really can't do anything about. And I know a number of people, myself included, who do struggle with this anxiety, this worry, naming it for what it is. Worry. Well, that's something that then gives you an opportunity to do something about it, because you can kind of take that thought captive to a higher power than just your own worries, right? Something to think about, and it's one of those things, especially when you're talking about a power of a name. Little side note, a few years back I was going fishing at Minto, which is north of Fairbanks, and on the way to Minto, you keep going past Minto, you go to Manly Hot Springs, great place, the whole just beautiful. Anyway, Minto's a native village, and on the way to Minto to go fishing for pike, my friend was telling me about this time that he went hunting with his dad up this particular mountain. And this mountain, you see, he and his dad were going up it, and he tripped and fell, and his gun went off. Nobody was hurt. But his dad joked with him, "Who you shooting at, a flying moose?" And from that time forward, to that family, that was Flying Moose Mountain. I thought that was a great story. And no sooner had he finished telling me that story when a moose jumped out in front of our truck and just trotted in front of us. So, of course, we slowed down. We're not going to ruin our truck by running over a perfectly good moose, especially out of season. I mean, come on, that's meat just growing. Anyway, point is, as we are following this moose along, we are now looking at a moose butt for a full quarter mile. And in light of the conversation we just had about Flying Moose Mountain, we decided that from henceforth and forever, that stretch of highway on the way to Minto shall be known as Moose Butt Lane. Do you see where I'm going? The power of a name, it gives not just the power of direction and the control aspect, but it gives you, whoever is the one doing the naming, the ability to look beyond what the particular situation is. So that's my thought for the day as the sun sets forever on Barrow and will rise in a few months, I guess. Actually, when is it? Sometime in February that the sun will actually rise again. It will rise in Utkatvik. Think about it. What's bothering you? Name it. That's it for me today. I'm Steve Floyd, the man with the face made for radio, and I will be back again tomorrow with another podcast. If you like what you see here today, please go to my website, which, of course, is very easy to remember. It is radiofreespeech.com. Hit subscribe, and I've got a number of different options for you. It should match just about any budget at all. The whole point is that I'm trying to get this going based on what you want to listen to, what you want to see, and I shall do my very best to offer you a variety of different podcasts. Right now we're starting slow, kind of growing on this news and commentary issue. If you like it, please subscribe. And again, you can also purchase the individual tracks and tell your friends. It's radiofreespeech.com. I'm Steve Floyd, and I will see you tomorrow.